everyone. Welcome back to Beyond Borders Dilemma podcast. I am your host, Naomi Menu. When people talk about studying abroad or immigrating, they often picture a single person or student with freedom and flexibility. But many students are also parents, raising children while navigating school, visas, finances, and cultural adjustments. Our guest today came as a spouse with kids, went on to acquire a master's degree, and recently graduated with her doctorate, all while being a great mom. Today's episode is to highlight the realities of parenting while studying abroad, balancing academics, stress, and emotional labor, while offering hope, validation, practical strategies for students who are also parents and immigrant families. Before I talk a little bit about our guest, I would entreat all of you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also follow us on anywhere you listen to your podcast, be it Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever. Joining me today is Dr. Ernestina Viafe. Congratulations on your graduation this May. She graduated with a PhD in the Department of Curriculum and Instruction. She was awarded Outstanding Graduate Student at Kansas State University in her cohort. Ernestina is an educator. Her research centers on African education, teacher education, comparative and international education, and the intersectional experiences of women and marginalized groups in global settings. She uses interdisciplinary frameworks, critical theories, and qualitative methods in her work to examine how curricula and teaching practices influence students' academic paths. Through this, she seeks to improve educational access, foster culturally responsive teaching, and support inclusive practices. Welcome, Dr. Riafi, to my podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Great. Now we will zoom right into the interview. Can you just tell us a short story of your journey from your home country to the US?
Thank you very much. So I would want to add that I'm a scholar whose scholarship and practice is at the intersectionality of my spirituality and faith. And
Oh,
so through this conversation, you would hear me refer to my spirituality as well as my Christian faith. When it comes to my life and most importantly, my educational journey transitioning from Ghana to the United States and then getting through to the PhD level. I completed a first degree, the Bachelor of Education from the University of Education, Winneba, and then practiced as a high school teacher for 7 years, where I also doubled at some point as a class teacher, working with students in the technical and vocational classrooms, and also later became a house mistress where I had the opportunity to supervise and mentor over 170 girls who were in the boarding school. And so the journey has been a great one. When I got opportunity to join my husband, who was also studying for his PhD at the time here in the US, I knew I was leaving behind a lot of things, the life God has given me, the life I have worked for and I have committed to. And so I needed to hear from God before moving. It wasn't just about getting a visa and being excited. Generally, anybody who get the US visa will be very happy
mm-hmm.
and will be packing bag and baggage the next day. But my case was different. After getting the visa, I needed to hear from God for almost 5 to 6 months because I didn't want it to be a journey in futility, a journey where you regret and ask, had I known, should I have even come at all? I wanted to be something that God wants me to do, for what I had done, what I've been able to attain at the time. It was all guided by the grace of God. And so I didn't want to go ahead of myself. And so I needed to hear from God. And after hearing from God, that is a deep delve. We can have a whole session about that. But after hearing from God, that I was very convinced after I've prayed the David prayer, should I pursue America? If I arrive, would you favor me? And if you favor me, will everything turn out well for me? That is what I did. David, after going on the wall and coming back and realizing the enemies have taken the wives, the horses, and then the servants away, he didn't just start running after them, even though he was a mighty man of battle. He could have beaten them because God, by his hands, have won many battles for Israel. So he could have just gone, hey, follow them. But he needed to be sure that even following them, will he be able to reach them? And after reaching them, would they beat him or will he beat them? You know. So when he heard that, okay, go, I'll be with you. You are going to reach them. I'm going to give them to your hands. He went. So that was my prayer before stepping out. And finally, when I heard from God, I just moved with my
Mm.
kids. Then we came. And then from there, everything happened according to God's plan. And then he gave me that favor. And then I got the opportunity to start my journey. And that is how he's been so good. If you just mentioned about the outstanding graduate student, but if you go through my profile, you realize that it was the latest of all that by his grace I was able to achieve, even getting the whole graduate school recognition as the student of excellence and leadership, the whole graduate school of that. It tells you that it is something that God really directed the journey, and I'm very grateful for.
This is so lovely.
Yeah,
Yeah, as a Christian too, I can definitely relate to what you're saying, and I'm glad that you're still holding fast onto your faith, and it's been leading you to places. I'm excited for the next future, whatever comes after graduation. I'm excited for you and
that
the
is all.
kids as well.
Yeah, that is all I have. That is all I have to hold on. So yeah.
Yeah, great. So, to dive a little bit about your personal journey, what inspired you to continue school while parenting? Because we know you said your husband was already a student, PhD student, when you arrived. So, most people will just stay in that position of being a wife and taking care of the kids, which is not an easy job in itself. So, what actually motivated you to go ahead and start with masters and now PhD?
Yeah, so like I said earlier, it is a journey that I prayed about, and so I was positioned to take up any God's given opportunity that came my way. They say opportunities are grasped by the prepared mind, but not just I was not just prepared, but then I knew that anything that came my way was God's gift He was giving me, because that is what I sought before I embarked on the journey. So anything. And so I have known to be a teacher, and I have desired to be it at the highest level. When I encounter people who would say, oh, you could have been a lawyer, you could have been a health personnel, I would say that even if I were any of those, I'll still be the person who would teach it. You could have done theology. Yeah, I could have done theology, but I was not going to be a theologian on the pulpit, maybe for conferences and speaker roles, but I was going to be a theologian in the classroom to
Mm,
teach. And so I've loved teaching. And I know that to be able to teach at the highest level, I would require to get the highest degree. And so when I got that opportunity, I knew it was just time for me to pursue it. And I took it up and asked
mm,
God for the help. And I know getting that opportunity, grabbing that God's given opportunity, and knowing that this is the time means that you are graced, you will be helped to get through the process.
mm,
And so I knew that everything else for me to pursue it is available for me as far as it has come to me. So I just took
yeah,
it up. I
yeah.
just, yeah.
That's amazing. And I think the teaching has always been in your blood. I mean, some people are just talented. They just know what they are doing,
Yeah.
and I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see
I
that
think
in you.
say that teaching is it's a calling. And for
Yes,
me,
yes.
it's a full calling. I treat I treat my teaching, my classroom as my big platform. I don't go
Mm-hmm.
preaching scriptures or making references to scriptures,
Oh yeah,
but
definitely.
I take it as something that I'm doing for God and humanity.
Mm-hmm.
So I
And
do
I
it.
mean, yeah, even in the Bible, whatever your hands get to do, do it with all your might. So it's not even about just teaching. Any work that your hands get to do, whichever profession you might be in, you have to do it with all your might and your strength to glorify God. So I can see that.
But for me, I believe that I will give an account of that work. So I don't just
That's
treat it as
it.
a profession, I treat it as a calling, something that will give me
Mm-hmm.
livelihood and something that I'll be given an account of because it's my gift and my talent.
Yes.
So that is how I approach it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love how you described it. Okay, I can see that you being a parent never stopped you from going for what you have always dreamt of. So how did I don't know if it ever did cross your mind that being a parent will be a hindrance or not, but from what you just told me, I could infer that you prayed about it, so you knew the direction that God was taking you to. Was there any challenges that surprised you once you took on this role from being a parent to becoming a master student and also a PhD student?
Yeah, so just trying to connect this to something you just said before. I didn't know that the direction was to pursue my education. I just
Okay.
knew God was going to do something for me. And so when
Mm.
it's myself, I knew this is God giving it to me.
Mm.
So I just
Okay.
could have been that would or that was presented. But then I was sort of taking it seriously because I just knew that it was something that was given to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. You get to think about it twice. Would I be able to do this together with my raising family and being the wife that I have to be, being elderly sister I have to be, and being to the many people that have taken inspiration. Remember, I had girls that I was supervising as a house mistress, and most of them I still have contact with. It's heavy, especially in an entirely new environment where you don't have relations, you don't have. When I was back home, I had two people helping me in my house. One was coming going, and so and my mom came around, my siblings came around, my husband was also supportive, his siblings and other things. So coming entirely to face it and thinking about going to the school could scare you a bit. But as I said initially, I knew that if the opportunity is presented and by the prayers I have lifted, I knew I'll be graced. Will be graced to be able to get through. And so that was it. The most challenging part has to be combining everything and
Mm-hmm.
best each part of it distinguishedly. I wasn't just a student, I was a graduate teaching assistant too. And so that role comes in, the mother role comes in, the wife role comes in, and everything. So together it was tough. You just stay strategy, take it one after the other. And
Mm.
then on with the people God connects you to provide you help, support, and guidance. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. So between you arriving in the US and you starting your master's, how long was that period? And then from master's to PhD to how was that?
Okay, so I started my master's in 2019, many months after I've arrived in the US. And then my master's was done in 2021, December. And then I continued right away progressively into January and was done in spring or in May 2026. That was it.
That's amazing. And I'm glad that you had the support because it can be very challenging. In that back home, you have, like you said, you have a whole community supporting you and assisting in any way or form that they can. So once you move, it can be tough. But I'm glad that people were there to give you guidance and support as and when you needed it. So let's go to daily realities and survival. What does a typical day look like for a student parent?
It's a heavy day. So depending, my children go to school at the master's and the PhD. There were some shifts here and there. I had
Mhm.
my kids in elementary school. One was in preschool. At the time, the two in elementary school had the same schedule. And so you drop them off to school by 8:15. And then I had a 4-hour daycare for the one in the preschool. And that made up the 4-hour daily required work that
Mm,
I had to do for my assistantship. And then
mm,
when she closed, I took her to the graduate parent library, continued with my research and my schoolwork. And then when school closes, I pick them at 3:45. Now, when it comes to the PhD level, my youngest got a full-time PhD. Sorry, my youngest got full-time preschool. So she
mhm,
was in school right after I dropped her sisters off at 8:45. At
mm.
8:15, I am there to drop her around 8. And then I head off to the office, sometimes just 5 minutes drive because school is on campus. And then I
Yeah.
start, and then I pick them 3:45. But the one in the middle closes, so I get to leave the office, let's say by 2:30, and then I pick her up and then wait and pick her siblings up. And then we come home and then we continue the remaining of the day.
Wow.
Through that, yeah,
That is that's amazing work, and it looks like a packed day every day. So
this
that's impressive. I don't know what to say. That's very impressive.
really packed day.
So in all that, how are you managing time and energy? Everything is like scheduled, or like how are you doing it all?
Yeah, so I do my best to keep schedule. I am a very structured person,
Okay.
right from my childhood, very, very structured. And I am graced to be able to be very consistent and committed if I choose to do something because I don't do it ordinarily. I
Mm-hmm.
actually I do. And I commit them to God and I ask for his help.
Mm-hmm.
I ask that he align people on my path to be able to give me specifically ask for favor, favor with
Mm-hmm.
God.
Mm-hmm.
So I plan my year. I usually plan my year quarterly, and I plan my day. I plan the month and I plan the day. And so I know that at this time I should be doing this, at this time I should be doing this, at this point I should be here. And that is what I follow through. As a result of that, if I stay to do something, you don't see me doing like I'm talking to you now, nothing is going to come across. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
stopping unless it's an emergency. In as much
Mm-hmm.
right, sometimes unexpected things happen, especially if you have children. There may be an emergency in the school, and you have to quickly run and go and attend to it, and all
Mm-hmm.
that. And that is where the the relationship you have built with people, you've made people understand your situation, where you have to leave the office and you have to tell your boss or your supervisor, this is an emergency, I would have to go and I'm going to be back. You are not
Mm-hmm.
going in away. You said you were going to go and be back. If anything changes, communicate. You communicate. I'm sorry, I thought it's something that I could deal with immediately, but turns out I would have to go to the emergency room. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'll make up what I needed or what was left for me to do. And you do exactly. That means the time you have to sleep, you are using that time to complete where you left off. I usually plan my day and my time. As for the energy, when you know that this is but for a moment, you know that, okay, this is 2 years, I'll be done with my master's. And so if I have to
Mm-hmm.
give a little more or stretch myself a little more to get navigate through my schedule, you would realize that then how do I do? When I'm even cooking, I'm teaching. My youngest, pick the tomatoes from the fridge for me. How many are we? We are using, count them. I'm teaching. I don't
Mm-hmm.
have a preference. You understand? So I I take every opportunity. Folding clothes. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Can you get me all the pink colors? She puts all the pink colors. So which one is the hot? Which one is light? Understand? You take
Mm-hmm.
the And then so we do it all together. And when everybody have gone to bed, that is where discipline being and having maintaining helping the kids to also maintain schedule. Sometimes they will not do it, but most times they would understand. And so I'm so
Mm-hmm.
thankful that and God giving me the wisdom to be able to nurture them that way. They sleep, that's when I work. So if everybody sleeps, then I have to wake up, sacrifice a couple of hours of my sleep. One thing another. But most importantly, because I do not have enough, I always pray for insight, accuracy, and speed. And I'm so grateful that I'm graced with that. And so not have the chance to just write something and say, I'm going back to redraft it and going back to redraft it. And so for me, if I am starting, I am doing an almost complete work so that if I turn it in, I get the feedback and then I incorporate them. I don't have to go more than twice. If I do go more than twice, it is eating into other things I have to do.
Other things, yeah.
The grace and the clarity. If I have to read and then I know what I'm looking for. And sometimes I'm even directed. I just go, I start reading from the back, from the middle, or from the top, and I get what I'm looking for. And then I move on.
I love that.
Because there is no way with all that I have to read, with all that I have to combine, I can do everything one after the other. But for the help of the Holy Spirit, there is none.
Love it. I love it. I really, really love it. So I you mentioned your youngest was in preschool, right? So how is childcare like? What options do you have? And then how accessible are these options?
It's very accessible
Okay.
for the facility and the people they are there, but also accessibility has a lot to do with the money that you are supposed to pay. Generally, quite high, and the cost is dependent on the child's age. So, if the child is very young, there is an amount you have to pay. And if the child is potty trained and other things, there is an amount that you have to pay. And
Okay.
so, accessibility includes how much you can finance it. It is there, but you need. Thankfully, my institution had the childcare. My institution had the childcare, and that's it's very, very helpful. And have subsidies for graduate students, as well as some other scholarships that if you are qualified for, you'll be able to get some more support
Oh, that's amazing.
in all the requirements and putting in order. It's not automatic. It's not automatic. You specifically have to apply for them. And then based on your excruciating circumstance, your individual needs, they attempt to and give you the help. You'll still be led
Okay.
to see that that is highly, highly compared to what is originally supposed to be paid if there are no.
Okay, that is very helpful. That was something I was gonna ask, if institutions had these options. So I'm glad that your institution did have one that helps because I mean I know we've all been students. Stipend is not that much of it's nothing. So to have kids, I can see it's a lot of work and requires a lot of money. So I'm glad there was something for you. Let's talk a little bit about self-care because I can see a lot is happening as a mother to three kids, right? And then doing all these the parenting work as well as schoolwork. So how do you practice self-care for yourself? How do you take time for yourself?
Okay, I do not joke with my sleep. Yeah,
That's a good one.
my sleep at all. I lose a lot of hours of sleep. So if I have the opportunity to do a 15 or 20 minutes, a 1 hour sleep, I do it with all the seriousness, like I work and
That's funny.
any other business. That is one thing. I make sure that if I have to rest, I do that. I get rest when I have to rest. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I go to let me get rest from my sleep, you know. So even if it's 15 minutes, you wake up and it's like you've done 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because people can have 2 hours sleep, but they never have a sound sleep, even with
Mm-hmm.
that. So I do get rest, and I'm very serious about it. I don't joke with it at all when I have to. It's really hard. It's really hard, really hard trying to do a lot of the things you would wish to do. But another thing I do is to do worship, just have the music, worship music, and other things that
Mm,
really settle down. And when I started my PhD and I had my children in full school session, I was able to visit the gym. I went to the gym. The 30 minutes 30 minutes between pick up. I move the car at 3:30 and be in their school 3:45. The time I leave campus to the gym, I have 30 minutes that I do my physicals, and I also have the treadmill at home. I get on to do it so that I am not worrying myself over so many things because it is out of my hand. It's not something I can control. And so for those that I can control, those that I have to manage, those I have to schedule, those I have to talk to people, I do that. But those that I cannot control, I just leave it to God to take control of them and to help the situation. And he has come through so many times
mm,
because how to deal with it myself. And it's okay if you are not being able to do. There's so many things you would have wished to do. It is just but a matter of time. Just know that it's going to end. And so I am doing this for 3 years. I'm doing this for 4 years. It's a sacrifice you have to put. If you have to put certain things on hold, you just put them on hold and pursue them. The end goal is a trophy. And
yeah,
so
yeah,
that,
yeah. I'm so glad you're taking some time to take care of yourself because you being a mom, taking care of yourself will help you to also have a sound mind, like you said, to be able to put that energy into the kids. So I'm so, so glad that,
yeah,
especially going to the gym and all, I'm glad that you're trying to fit it. Even if it is just for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you get some time for yourself to enjoy that period. So I'm really glad that you mentioned that.
I
What
am
keeps you motivated? I know you mentioned a lot, like the support, God, and all, because I mean I think some people at some point would have given up because it's a lot of work. So what really keeps you going?
lots of things keeps me going. Intrinsically, I am a very self-motivated person.
Mm,
Very intrinsically, like that's my nature. I don't
mm,
see impossibilities. I don't see impossibilities. No. Even if it is very clear that this is not gonna work, I know it doesn't apply to me because I am sure in scriptures that I can do all things through
through
Christ.
Christ who strengthens you.
And I also know that He makes a way where there is no way. He makes the impossible possible. And
Mm,
so, I mean, when you come to my life's background and other things, I don't know what will break me. Unless I decide I won't do it.
mm-hmm.
Unless I decide that I won't do it. No, unless I decide that I won't do it. And most of the times I've never said I won't do it because I know that it is part of my life's journey, and it is a test that I need to pass, and it is something that I need to break through in advance. And so I am not just doing it for myself, I am also doing it for the children God has given me, the family God has put me into, the
Mm,
nations that God has tread my toes on, and also to the destinies that God has aligned on my path. And
mm.
so it's like giving up and not doing it is failing a whole generation. And I don't want to be the reason why people's assignments on earth will not be fulfilled because I failed to do my part. I don't want to.
Girl,
I don't want to be that
I
person.
love it.
You
Yeah.
understand? I don't want to be
Mm-hmm.
that person. And so when it becomes tough, I go to God and I tell Him, I don't want to be that person to fail my generation and those who have aligned on my path. You understand?
Mm. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
and so that is what motivates me.
Girl,
That's what motivates
I'm
me.
inspired right now.
Yeah, that's what motivates
Yeah.
me. Give me the opportunity to work. I know it's not an opportunity just for me. It is an
Mhm.
opportunity for many people like me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I have to
Love
distinguish
it.
myself. the whilst the door has been opened for me to enter, it is my responsibility to keep that door open.
Okay.
It shouldn't be that we had a Ghanaian here and she did this, or
Misbehaved.
even
Yeah.
even if you are not told, you have created that conception, and because of that, when they see people like you or
Mm-hmm.
people who can be given that opportunity, the door is shut because of you. It
Mm-hmm.
means that you have stopped somebody from attaining their purpose and their destinies to be fulfilled. And I don't
Yeah.
want to be that one. And that is
Yeah.
what keep motivating me. It is a big platform, and that is an evangelism. No, it's an evangelism. You are not quoting the scriptures, but then you are making your life
Real life. Mm-hmm.
open doors for others, have others connect with you, and living it very fulfilled and excited. So basically, that's what motivates me.
Love it. I really, really love it. And I'm motivated myself. This is so inspirational. I'm actually having tears in my eyes. I definitely I can see myself in that. And one one thing I've also learned, like you mentioned the Ghanaian thing, my professor back in Kansas, he's always having Ghanaians in his lab, and he's always saying that one Ghanaian started it, and it has always put a great mark in his mind. And none of us Ghanaians who have been in his lab has disappointed him. So I can really relate to what you're saying. You don't want to be that person that disappoints and other people's paths are blocked because of your behavior. So
Exactly.
I love it. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I said, it's a ministry. I mean, it's a ministry. You are not wearing a clerical, but you are living it.
Yes, yes. And our lives are definitely examples for people too. You might
Exactly.
think no one is looking, but people are actually looking. So that is really great. And in all these, what resources have helped you most?
I've had a lot of resources. I,
Okay.
I've had a lot of resources. I, those that are recommended to me, those that people chance on and see, oh, Tina, this could be helpful to you and the girls. And because I always pray that God should bring me help.
Mm-hmm.
God should align my path. And so
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you that whilst you are telling me that this resource is there, I am already Googling it. And then I'll give you a feedback. If I do it and it's successful, I get back to you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for linking me to this opportunity. It's because you
Mm-hmm.
shared. That is why I was able to see it.
To
I give
find
you an
it.
update.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So I've had a lot of resources, human capital, great community, people that are Ghanaians, people that are Africans, people that are Americans. One thing is that I do not take the people God bring on my way or I meet for granted.
For granted.
I don't. I don't. Even if I sit by you in the plane or in an Uber, 8 million people, 8 billion people in the world, 8 billion people in the world. How is it that I'm meeting this person at this time?
At this point of time. Yeah.
You understand? And so that is how, like I said, it's centered with my spirituality. And so I do treat everybody I come in contact with high esteem, honor, and respect. And
Mm.
when I think that you are probably wanting to look down on me, I am very firm to speak up. Yes, because I am
Great.
according you that reverence. And if you are not going to, it's okay, you can move on. But then you shouldn't put me down.
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
breaks, nothing discourages me. And I wouldn't want to let somebody get into that space. So that is that. But I really honor people God bring on my path. And so by that, I have received a lot of help. One
Yeah.
thing about me is that if I even know about a thing and you are telling me, I will not say I know it. I'll just keep quiet
Good.
and listen to you. You understand?
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
you are going to share a detail that I don't have. Probably you are going to send an additional link to the same resource that I don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Or probably that will not discourage you from coming to tell me another opportunity.
Yep.
Because if I know, next time you think, oh, for all you know, Tina knows it already.
He already knows. Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe that is the day I don't
You
have
might
that
need it.
information. I need most. And that I've always been telling my people, my kids, and people I interact with. It's not a waste of their time that you know and you are still keeping quiet. Somebody will say it's a waste of whoever is sharing on your time. But no. Oh yeah, I think I have come across this before. I am not quite sure. Can you let's look at it, and then you take the opportunity. Maybe you have glanced through, you didn't even understand what it means. So you get
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to ask your questions so
More
that the
questions.
person who is sharing that probably knows more. And if they don't know more, the good thing is that they will tell you who can help you.
Yes.
And then you go
Yes.
to the people, and then they also tell you who can help you. And by the time you realize you have reached the very person that you are supposed to talk to.
Mm. Totally agree with you.
But if you know, the conversation just ends there.
Yeah.
And then you
Yes.
may not get the connection that will propel you to get what you really need to get. And so
Yeah.
that is how the resources
Wow.
have been. So my community has been great. I thank God for the lives of everybody who has been a part of me and a part of the journey, even if it's an hour, even if it's a 30 minutes conversation, and those who
Mm-hmm.
have moved on after they have made their impact, and those who are still keeping up relationships and checking back, how are you doing, how are the girls doing, and all that. Yeah, I love the school library. I love the library. Growing up, I just went to the library because it makes me feel like an elite. Um, oh, I'm going to the library. Oh, okay. Where is the library? Then I'll show you. I'll gladly show you where the library is in Accra. It gave me that sense, like, yeah, it made me feel good. But, little did I know that God was nurturing my beginning. And
Mm-hmm.
the library has been a great place. And I really appreciate Dr. Opoku Champon, Audrey, for introducing me to interlibrary loans and how to secure all that and all that. So the library has been good, and my supervisors, so they all form part of my human capital. And I
Yeah.
believe, yeah, my church has also been a very great place
Yeah.
to nurturing my Christian values and my spirituality and faith. And
Mm-hmm.
so generally, yeah, generally.
Yeah. These are great. These are so, so grateful and useful. I'm so grateful you are here. Now let's jump into a little bit of advice because you've done a lot you've gone through a lot of this process. Like it's been what, 7 to 8 years now?
It's been 7 years.
7 years, yes. So
Oh,
I guess
yeah.
you have some advice for us all who intend or maybe are in the same situation as you are. So what advice do you have for new student parents who just started her journey?
Everybody's journey is different, and definitely we would all not have the same experiences or encounter the same
Yeah.
obstacles. But we can pick up nuggets from each other and as we continue our journey. One most important thing is that you should hold on to your faith. Whatever you believe in, you should hold on to it. You do not let it go because you have changed locations. The practice or the approach may not be the same as what you might have experienced back home, but it is important that you build that personal relationship and continue to fellowship with the community that you align with in terms of your spirituality and your faith. Everything is possible if you set your mind to. There are many people who have complained. There are many people who have told of experiences. But what I have done is to see what I choose to see and to hear that what I choose to hear. And so there may be a lot of things going on, but I decide what I want to hear
Mm-hmm.
and I decide what I want to see. And so I wouldn't create problems because I decide what I want to see and hear. If you decide to follow everything, you may end up having issues with everybody. Our upbringing and our trainings and our cultural differences is different, and how we approach things are also very different. And so as much as you can, you want to remain focused, you want to select what will keep your mental health going, and you should also know that it is a journey. It's not going to last forever. It's a stage. It's going to pass. If you have to let go certain things to be able to attain it, go ahead. It doesn't change you. It doesn't change your value because you know what you are aspiring for and you know what you are looking for. It is about you and what you have to give back to the world. And so do not be worried. The last thing I would say is that there are a lot of resources both in the community that we find ourselves as parents. I have loved the forage. My children have had opportunity to do a lot of activities. They've learned to bake, they've learned to cook, and I take them all to this. And you have to sit down during that time, and I make time for it because that is what I want to do.
Yeah.
There are a lot of other mom organizations, and as students, we may not have all the time to be at these places. But when you have the opportunity, go. Do not shy away if the kids are following you. I've had my kids follow me so many times. I don't have childcare after school or when the childcare time is closed. But if I have an activity and I can go with them, I go with them. That helps them also build their social relationships. It
Hmm.
can be very quiet, unlike home where you have children go out and play and come back in and all that. You don't have that here. And so those are the places they also build their their social relationship. They get to meet other kids and interact, even if it's for briefly. They also learn how to remain composed when they are in the midst of people.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yes, how to relate with elderly people, how to interact with them, and all that. It helps to build them and take advantage of whatever is there. I know that speaking up and sharing our troubles back home, especially, and for many people in the global south who come from global south, is a sign of weakness.
Hmm.
But here you are encouraged to share your vulnerabilities, tell your struggles, tell your challenges. You don't expect people to look at you and make sense of it if you have not spoken. People are not magicians. You understand? Yes. So if you have any difficulties, go and talk to somebody you think you can trust. There are counseling units, there are mental health facilities in our schools and in our community. Please harness it so that you don't break down. If you're a mother, your children need you. They are here because they are on your visa. And so any issue that happens to them impacts them. You do not
Hmm.
want to impact yourself and impact these children that you have brought with you. So you really want to be in a good frame of mind, seek help, talk to your supervisors, talk to your advisors, talk to trusted people, and then you will get the necessary recommendations to all.
Yeah.
The one thing that I also want to say is that when you are successful, you are the first beneficiary. You'll be happy yourself when you are
Hmm.
successful. You'll be proud of yourself when you are you'll be happy and you'll feel fulfilled. And so
Yeah.
don't let it seem as if you are doing it for someone. You are doing it for yourself first and foremost. Any other person that joins in your joy is just a
The
beneficiary,
secondary. Yeah.
secondary. You understand? Yeah. So be a little toughened on yourself. Do not let go. Hold it on. It can be hard. It can be challenging, but keep looking at the ultimate prize. And I believe that you would definitely sail through. Most importantly, you need to give what you expect others to give. If you expect a welcoming atmosphere, give a welcoming atmosphere. If you want to feel belong, you have to create that belonging space too. Because you can't expect people to do those for you when you are not reciprocating or you are not creating it.
Britain.
And so it is very, very, very important. Most times we expect more, but we give very little. It is honored on
Yeah.
us to do all those, and you realize that everything continues to align. That's all I
Hmm.
have to
So lovely and well said. Another thing, what myths should be corrected? Because people have their own perspective about being a student and parent. What things do
say.
people say that should be corrected?
I don't know what people say. Like I said, I choose to hear what I want to hear.
That's true.
Mine is I'm doing my business. This is what I want. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't actually know what people, but I know that sometimes, especially the young folks, they may be. I don't know how to say it. I don't want to say it.
Surprised?
Not really surprised. They may be wondering, are you also a student?
Oh,
You know,
okay, I get what you
or
mean.
they'll be resentful. trying like no, there is a standard people are looking at. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
There are people have
Mm-hmm.
standard. What an ideal student, like you said in your introduction. Mostly, the picture is it should be a young person.
A young person, single and ready
Yeah,
to mingle.
you should have
Yeah.
some kind of maybe long hair, either braids or ribbon. You probably should have some nails painted.
Oh my
You
God.
know, wear some kind of, so when you appear a little different, they begin to question. They begin to, I don't know, I say, they begin to,
Look at you
that
differently.
is this person supposed to be here at all?
Hmm.
And
I
then
see
when
what you
they
mean.
interact with you or somehow they chance on what you are doing, they're like, oh,
Yeah.
you understand?
Yeah.
You don't have to
Hmm.
know people to honor them. You don't have
That's
to love
true.
people to honor them. Just treat everybody you are coming in contact well. It is the myth that it's not, you are not supposed to be in this space. Everybody is supposed to be in that space as
Mm-hmm.
far as they have committed themselves to it. If you are not
Yes.
in a position to offer them any help, it's okay, you move on.
Mm-hmm.
Their helpers will come. But as
Yes.
for myth, what people are saying, I don't pay attention to it. But this is my observation.
Okay.
Basically, that is my observation. Yeah.
That's a good observation too.
That's my observation.
Anyway,
Yeah.
what would you tell your younger self now if she's right sitting in front of you, your 10-year-old self looking at you right now? What would you tell her?
You were very convinced you'll make it, and you have.
Oh, wow, I didn't expect that, but that's so good.
Very convinced. Yeah.
Amazing.
When you sit down and you are able to make visions of yourself, you make visions of yourself into 20 years, into
Mm-hmm.
10 years, and then you work towards it and you arrive there, you feel fulfilled. Now I'm looking for the next vision because for
Yes.
what I planned, I have gotten there by the very
Mm-hmm.
grace, by the very
Yes.
I've gotten there. So what is next?
So what next? Yep.
Yeah. So what next? So you think about what
Um,
next, you imagine it, and in the next 10 years, you are there and you are like, yes, I have arrived. So what next?
mm.
And all that. So we are
Yeah, I
thankful.
think it has been like that for my journey. I've always knew for some reason I would study outside the country. I didn't know where I would be, but I knew it. And I don't know, it just came out. Of course, as a Christian, I know God was directing my path, but I didn't know where I would end up to be. But here I
Exactly.
am now.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah. What does success look like for you now?
Well, till this point, if we say anybody has actualized, I will say I've actualized. When we say somebody,
And I love it.
yeah, if
Self-awareness is all that you need, and
yeah,
I love it.
from then to now, if there is anything, I would say if anybody feels actualized, I'm one of them up till this point. But greater things are ahead, and so we are trusting God that the latter glory will be greater than the former.
Mm-hmm.
We are trusting Him to continue guiding us and helping us to fulfill the destinies that He has assigned us and to make the impact that He wants us to make in the nations we have tread our foot and to the lives that He has aligned to us. I think that will be more fulfilling and that will be more satisfying to realize that you are living the purpose and
Mm-hmm.
the assignments for which you have been brought on the earth. So that is
Mm.
what we are trusting God for: good health, direction, opportunities, and connecting us at the right places that we have to be.
Amazing. Last question. What biggest lesson have you learned so far in this journey?
Our biggest lesson:
Mm-hmm.
God directs our path.
Amazing.
If you invite Him to be a part of your journey, He is going to order your steps. And so that is what I've learned situating my Christian faith and spirituality.
Mm.
Academically, you have the plan. The win is in your mind. No one will take that from you.
Mm.
if you know that. If you know that, no one will take that away from you. Even if you are brought down so many times, you will still keep going because the win is you. You have to make it happen. Everybody else is there to help you through the process. And
Mm.
so you really have to remain steadfast towards whatever you want to do.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ernestina. I can see
You're
parenting while studying often requires strength that goes unseen. And I'm glad that you are here to share your journey so that people will see
welcome.
what goes into it
Hmm.
and will learn to appreciate all these efforts that parents are putting into their kids while studying
Yeah.
wherever they may find themselves.
Hmm.
Well, in concluding, parenting while in school is not easy, as we have all seen or heard from our guest today. It's a testament to strength and determination. If you are a student parent listening to this, your journey matters and deserves visibility. And I'm glad that this space is safe enough for us to share journeys like this. And I am so, so proud of you, of all your accomplishments and what you've allowed yourself for God to use you to
Amen.
become.
Amen.
And congratulations once again. Now,
Yeah.
share this episode with someone who needs to feel seen. Listen on whichever platform that you listen to your podcast or watch on your YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and follow and share your stories with us in the comment section. Once again, thank you, Dr. Riafe, for sharing your story.
You are very welcome. I'm pleased I was able to contribute to this important discussion.